Breathe. Breathe and become present. As we work with opening to your authenticity, the new energies that are coming in at this time are dissipating the 3D. Yes, third dimension is dying. It is no longer the dominant earth theme. 3D, fear and control. It no longer will have power over you. No longer will these frequencies be able to control and dominate your life and your thoughts. Let's breathe that in, because this is an amazing time that we are living through. Many of us have already shifted to 5D. And because you're already in the higher frequency, you may be witnessing the shifting that is happening. You may find those around you upset, perhaps even you getting upset and troubled with the 3D antics. Let it go. It is not your fight. That fight is for those still holding on to the 3D. So if you're trying to engage in politics and the news and in all that is going on around you, let it go. It's control and fear's last hurrah. Those that haven't made the shift are already fighting amongst themselves for dominance. This will leave you with very little interest to what is happening when you transition into the 5D and discover the new energy in your life of compassion and acceptance. You will start experiencing all of the situations in your life from a very different place. You'll notice that no matter what stumbling blocks you come across, you're going across them with more ease, more flow. Remember, life is about flow, and the shift is about shifting into the flow. Your toughest of situations will quickly become remedied, and your life will be in flow. Getting into this flow requires a shift to living authentically. And that's what we are working on in this class. To being in your truth, to being authentic. Truth itself will pull you in like a vacuum when you open that door of truth. It is time to be who you are, not who you think you should be. So I invite you now to again close your eyes and see what that would look like. I want you to think of a time that you were just happy, carefree, enjoying yourself, laughing, not a care in the world, fearless, no attachments, just enjoying yourself. It may have been when you were a child, it may have been as a teenager, it may have been yesterday, it might have been this morning, but feel into that. Feel into a moment in your life and bring that moment back into your memory bank. Feel how happy you are. Feel how easy everything is going around you. That is your authentic self. So when you're asked, what is my authentic self? My authentic self, your authentic self, is when you are filled with joy, when flow and ease is going through your life. When you accept all of who you are, you can let go of all of the attachments that you have created. For many years, you've heard the buzz of, oh, we're going to get rid of this attachment, get rid of that attachment. Empower yourself, take back your power. When we speak about taking back your power and getting rid of attachments, it's not the attachment that somebody put on you. It's the attachment that you have to a belief system, to a way of life, to societal confirmation. You placed that there. You created it. Nobody put it on you. So let's begin by forgiving ourselves for that. Forgive yourself for giving away your power. Forgive yourself for being fake. Because every time we try to conform, we are being fake. You're living a lie. At this moment, I invite you to forgive yourself for everything was part of your soul's journey. This was all part of a learning lesson to where we are now. Your ability to accept yourself was taken from you many lifetimes ago. And it has been a journey, but welcome back. Because it is time to start accepting yourself. To start practicing self-compassion. To be gentle with yourself. Again, go back to a moment ago and how wonderful it felt to be carefree. To be your authentic self. To be you. Not to be who people expect you to be. You may not remember how beautiful it was when you were young and carefree. You may have taken on so much of society's expectations that you don't even know how to be gentle with yourself, to be compassionate with yourself. So the first thing you want to do is you want to commit to being in the present moment with yourself, aware and mindful. When you're aware and you're mindful, then you can be authentic because you know the decision you're making and you know why you make it. Again, I want you to just reflect on the last 3 decisions you made. How did you make that decision? What was it based on? And did it create joyfulness in your life? This is important. This is how we start to know who our authentic self is. Did you pick the food you want to eat based on your desires or based on what somebody else told you was good for you? Or because someone told you not to eat it? Did you pick out the clothes you wore today based on what you want to be dressed in? It just makes you happy and carefree and feel great? Or did you pick out your clothes based on what you believed you had to wear because of where you were going? Because that's what society told you had to wear. If you're walking around eating food you don't want to have, wearing clothes that you don't even really like, how could you possibly have a great day? This is authenticity. This is the beginning of awakening to what you have attached yourself to. What beliefs are keeping you from being you? Let's fire the inner critic right now. Everyone, give him the pink slip. Fire your inner critic and replace it with a cheerleader that says, yeah, let's go have fun. Let's be joyful. No matter how difficult a situation is, you can shift your perception, put a little joy in it, and it gets a lot better really quick. Because joyfulness and godliness are one and the same. You're working with divinity when you're working with joy. Accepting yourself also includes going where you are appreciated. And I mean that. Appreciate it and celebrate it. So what does that mean? It means that when you go there, it's not like, oh, hi, because they're tolerating that you're here. But instead, when you walk in a place, hey, so nice to see you. Glad you can make it. Oh, good morning. Not, yeah, hi. Don't surround yourself with people that just say, yeah, hi. Don't go to parties where they just go, oh, yeah, glad you made it. No, go where people are excited for you to be there. And if you don't have those places, start creating them in your life by being authentic. Because when you're authentic, you're happy, you're joyful, and people want to be around happiness and joy. Move away from lower energy forms and disappointments. When disappointments come your way, just know they are signs that you're meant to go a different way. Don't beat yourself up, or what did I come here for, or why did I do this, or why did I do that? Just go, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm just going to know that there's a different road I'm supposed to be on today. I was supposed to take a different path. Get on a different train. This is the beginning of accepting yourself and being authentic, showing up as you, surrounding yourself with people that you enjoy being around, not where you have to work hard to get them to accept you. And now that brings us up to self-esteem. So I'm going to talk a lot, and then we're going to do some practices. So I'm going to talk about self-esteem versus self-acceptance. So many times we confuse self-esteem with self-acceptance. You say, well, if I feel good about myself, then I accept it myself. No, that means you like the way you're being right now. That doesn't mean you're authentic, and it doesn't mean that you've accepted who you are. Self-esteem refers to having confidence in your qualities and your abilities. It's not about you. It's about your qualities and your abilities. A person with high self-esteem might feel very worthy, and they may be very positive, and they feel like they could handle situations. But at any given moment, that lack of self-acceptance will come in, and the negative chatter will start. The inner critic will be there. While self-esteem and self-acceptance are connected, self-acceptance is the act of embracing every aspect of who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses. And I invite you tonight to put your weaknesses first, because that which you try to hide, that which you try to deny, when you put it front and center, it becomes your strength. You take your weakness, and it turns into your sweetness. So when someone says, oh, I'm shy, but they don't want anybody to know they're shy, so they sit there trying to just act like they're arrogant when really they're shy. Instead, if they just come forward and go, oh yeah, I'm a little shy, I'm not so comfortable in crowds. Oh, come on, I'll introduce you to everybody. There you go. You took it from a secret to your sweetness. Self-esteem is the quality of fuel. It's the fuel that you use. Self-acceptance is how you drive that fuel. So one is the fuel, and the other is the vessel that drives that self-esteem. So self-esteem without self-acceptance is not authentic. It's not your truth. So you may do it and you may sustain it for a little while, but you're not going to feel good about it. You're not going to feel good about it after. You're not going to be filled with joy. You're not going to feel like, whoo, that was great. You're going to feel like, oh, I did good. You're going to validate the validation monster, but you're not feeding the joy. You're not feeding the heart. So again, self-acceptance feeds the heart. Self-esteem does not. Self-esteem feeds the ego. It's important to have. It's a fuel. It's something you use. But it's not who you are. So again, if you don't have self-acceptance, you will have lack of happiness, most likely low self-esteem, unsatisfied with your life, anxiety, depression, unsatisfied with your life career no matter how successful you are, unsatisfied with your relationships no matter how strong your relationships are, society anxiety, social anxiety, migraines. These are just some symptoms of not being authentic. And then we have envy, sadness, loneliness. Loneliness is one of the biggest symptoms of not accepting yourself, because loneliness gives you the opportunity to be with yourself, to get comfortable with yourself. When you're feeling lonely, and remember, we could be lonely in a room full of hundreds of people. If you are feeling lonely, it is a calling to go inward and find what part of yourself you're not accepting. So what I want you to do right now is let's take out your journals. Get out your journal. And I want you to just start writing down your weaknesses, your mishaps, the parts of your being you want to hide from the rest of the world. Your little quirks, whatever they are. Bring this to your awareness. Sometimes we don't even know. Are you uncomfortable around people, but everyone thinks that you're friendly? Is it difficult for you to speak up? Are you envious of others? Do you have phobias that you don't want anyone to know about? Do you have physical ailments you don't want anyone to know about? And now I want you to use this list. You're going to get a homework assignment now. I want you to use this list and baby steps. Put each one of those things on that list front and center one at a time. Bring it out, bring it forward, and turn it from your secret to your sweetness, from your weakness to your strength. Again, oh, I feel uncomfortable walking in a room where I don't know anyone. Great. So go in a room where you don't know anyone and tell them that. And see how quickly it dissipates. It's over. It's done. If you don't accept yourself, I'm like, why do you got to be like this? Just go, blah, blah. And you're sitting there and you're internalizing it the whole time. Just breathe and let everyone think that you're comfortable. You're just going to hold on to that. And that's eating away at your happiness. It's eating away at your joy. So whatever your quirks, your mishaps, your weaknesses, I invite you to take this list and one by one, go face it. Because this is the first step of self-acceptance. And when you have self-acceptance, then we have authenticity. Being you. When you can walk in and say, this is who I am. This is what's coming forward. Then you're comfortable. Because you start to be comfortable with your own skin. You can't be comfortable in your skin if you're putting a fake facade on the outside of it. And now start to reflect. And looking back at this list, what limiting beliefs led you to feel that those beliefs have to be hidden? Even the belief that something is a weakness, that something has to stay a weakness, that if it's not conforming to society, it's a weakness. Were you told something by a teacher and it left you feeling that way? Were you told by a sibling, not even your parents? Sometimes it's things that other children say to you at school and just last forever. The only way to change your limiting beliefs is to dig and find what they are. So now I'm going to come up with more questions for you on release. We're going to release these limiting beliefs, but we have to bring them to the surface so that they can be released. So I'm going to place this all in a sacred, safe bubble.
Can you give us examples of limiting beliefs?
It's going to come as I go along. That's what this is about. So we're doing next right now. Okay, so limiting beliefs. Where are you giving yourself away? So when you're giving yourself away to anything that is making someone else happy at the expense of your unhappiness. So I'm going to say that again. You give yourself away to anywhere that you feel that your actions are, you're doing those actions to make someone else happy at the expense of your happiness. Now, if you're doing something to make someone happy and it makes you happy, that's great. But when you're wearing certain clothes, taking a certain job, picking a certain career, hanging around certain people because you were told that's what you're supposed to do, or because, even TV shows have an influence over what you do and what choices you make. So when you start to look at what you're doing that's making your unhappiness, then you can start to look at the limiting beliefs. A belief that you're lucky to have a job, so keep it even if you're miserable. A belief that it doesn't matter if it's not a good friend, you're lucky you have a friend. A belief that if you're in a relationship, that you have to choose your battles. Choose your battles means be quiet, shrink your light. Again, anything that shrinks your light is keeping you from your authentic self. So again, start to feel into, go back to what is feeding your choices. When you're deciding to do things, what is feeding that decision? And anytime you go to make a choice, it's simple. From this moment on, start saying, okay, if I choose to do that, will I be happy? Okay, well, I'm not going to go to that show tonight. They didn't ask me until an hour ago. Are you going to be happy that you didn't go? Or are you going to sit there and be miserable all night that you didn't go? The one that makes you miserable is self-sabotage. Letting others influence how much you can accept yourself. If you are surrounded by people that are constantly showing you the negative side of you, what are you doing there? You have to think about that. This, again, goes back to that belief that, oh, I'm lucky that person's in my life. Or because that person is a family member, I have to listen to what they say. Or it's my boss, so I have to let them treat me that way. I have to let this person talk to me that way because they have that title. I have to believe what this person said to me because of who they are. We listen to accountants, we listen to attorneys, we listen to doctors, and we don't agree with it, but we do it anyway. That is giving away your power to anything you think that knows your life and you better than you. And these are limiting beliefs that put you there. A belief that you're not worthy enough. A belief that you're not tall enough, strong enough, thin enough, fat enough, muscular enough. All of these are beliefs that were put on you to suppress you. And now is the time to let them all go. I am me. This is who I am. This is my body. I love it. I accept it. This is my brain. These are my choices. And I'm happy with them. That's your authentic self. And one of the most beautiful things is the younger generation has learned that. They have learned to be them. They don't wear suits because it makes you more powerful. They don't take jobs because they have to. You're like, why is this kid still not working? I'm not taking a job like that. I'm waiting for the job that I deserve to show up. They've learned to get what they deserve. They make choices based on what they deserve. It's beautiful. This is being your authentic self. choosing where you want to eat, how you want to eat, when you want to eat, where you want to live. Oh, no, I can't live in that neighborhood. People talk. I have to live in that neighborhood and not like it. I can't begin to say how many clients come to me and they're unhappy with all of their neighbors, but they still live there. Well, why are you living there if you're not happy there and you don't like any of the people there? I don't know. They didn't even think that it was a choice. They were lucky they had a home. They were lucky to be in that neighborhood. How lucky are you to be in a house, in a neighborhood, or eating food if it's something that doesn't bring you happiness? And there are beliefs, when you dig in there are beliefs that tell you that. If you live in this type of neighborhood, you should be thankful. If you have this type of food to eat, you should be grateful for it. Of course, let's be grateful for everything we have, but you don't have to keep accepting it if it isn't feeding your happiness. Let somebody else have it. Another one of the biggest limiting beliefs is you have to keep things because someone gave it to you. We all struggle with that. When somebody else can have it that would enjoy it, you're holding on to it in greed because somebody gave it to you. Thank you for giving it to me. Now let me give it to somebody else that will enjoy it. I have to keep this shirt because I only wore it once, but I don't really like it, so it sits in the closet for 10 years. There was a belief that you had to keep it because you paid for it. You had to get your money's worth. All the beliefs around getting your money's worth creates limiting beliefs. Beliefs around age. Beliefs around body image. These are all limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are all expectations that were put upon you. Codependency is a huge sign of lack of self-acceptance. When you believe you need that other person. I'm not whole until I have a spouse. I'm not whole until I have children. I'm not whole until I have that college degree. You become codependent on that belief system. You become attached to these expectations that you've accumulated from your past. And they begin to, all of these attachments, all of these beliefs begin to own your life. They own your authenticity. And then one day you wake up and you stop and you say, who is the I? Who is the I that I've become? The I within me. Who is that? How did that get created? Why do I exist? Why am I here? If I am here to express the divinity within me, but I'm conforming to all of these belief systems, all of these expectations, then who am I? If you picked your job to make your parents happy, if you picked your spouse to make your finances happy, and you picked your job because it was close to home, if none of these were about, but this is going to make me happy, you were tricked into believing, if I follow these golden rules, then I'll be happy. Happiness is right now. Happiness is a state of mind. It's not something waiting out there for you. And you have happiness when you're true to yourself, when you're in your truth. When you embrace your passion, when you live in your heart space, then you have the knowing. And when you have the knowing, you are who you are. I am who I am. Then there's no question. I know who I am. And I'm creating based on who I am. Not based on my parents' expectations, society's expectations. I am going to create from my happiness. So if you create from happiness, you have a foundation of happiness and everything is joyful. So if you're living right now and you're saying, well, I'm really not happy and I feel stuck. If you are feeling unhappy and you are feeling stuck, it's because you're stuck in somebody else's life. Get up and get in your own life. It means that you made many, many decisions year after year after year based on what you thought you were supposed to or what you have to do. If you created a life out of I have to's and I'm supposed to, it's what I should do, then you have not created your authentic life. Let's breathe that in because it's an important one. You know, we work so hard to strengthen our intuition, yet it's so important to really learn about self-wisdom, your inner wisdom and discernment that comes from truly knowing yourself. So when we speak of enlightenment, enlightenment is really enlightening yourself to you. When we go on a spiritual journey, that journey is not out there. That journey is in here. That journey is about getting to know who self is. And as you start to unpeel who you are and you accept who you are, you don't have to stay that way. You just have to accept it. Because, oh, well, I was really controlling, or I was really jealous, or I was stuck in envy. All right, what are you now? Every moment we get to change. And we can even choose to be those things. It's part of the experience. This is opening to wisdom. Seeing everything as it is, rather than through the lens of resistance, judgment, and control. Because constantly wanting to change, constantly wanting to fix is the opposite of self-acceptance. So it's time to breathe and say, oh wait, empowerment doesn't mean I have to change myself. Empowerment means if I accept myself, then I'm strong enough to create everything that I want. Wow, what a concept. It was a long journey to get to here, guys. Let's take that in. Breathe what I just said in. Empowerment comes through acceptance of self. It doesn't come from changing self. It comes from accepting self. And when you accept it, then you can go do whatever you want with it. You can create. You don't have to change. You create. You see yourself and you begin to make new choices about who you will be by seeing clearly how you have created who you are. So when you start to say, wait a minute, well, I'm insecure because I created from this template. So I'm gonna say thank you to that template, and I'm gonna love all the part of me that I created out of that template. But now it's time for me to create in a place that I'm gonna accept all of who I am, and then you're free. You're free to live by your essential values, and your essential values is that which what feeds your soul. And you know it's feeding your soul because it's bringing in joy. When you look at the people around you that you have drawn into your life, are they there to fill a vacancy or a void? Or are they there to support and uplift you? What belief systems, what values have you placed on yourself? This is how you begin to see clearly how you have created who you are. You want to see those you truly resonate with, the ones who really vibrate with you, the ones that light you up when they come in the room. This is what you want to surround yourself with. That's your soul family. Your biological family is there to push your buttons and help you get your life lessons. But outside of your biological family, you have your soul family that feeds your spirit. You want to find those that vibrate with you. that you laugh when you're around them, that when you sing, that you have fun, that you enjoy their company, that it feels good. Don't settle just to avoid loneliness or avoid the fear of putting yourself out there. Start to say, hey, yeah, I think it's time. I realize now I'm not my authentic self. None of us are, until we wake up and realize that we've been tricked into programming ourselves to be, to conform, to be somebody else's agenda. So now what is your agenda? What feeds you? What makes you feel good? Does helping other people make you feel good? Does, what does being alone out in the woods make you feel good? What feeds your soul? What brings out that authenticity? One of my most memorable days was I went out into the woods, and it was a cloudy day, but I really felt I had to, go out into this space. And I went walking, and I got halfway there, and it started to downpour. And I still remember I was dressed in all white clothes, and I just started to dance in the rain. And I jumped in the puddles, and I played. And the next thing I knew, I came out, and I had been in that woods for 6 hours. And it was one of the greatest 6 hours of my life. I was carefree and free. In that moment, I felt that space was so magical. And then it took me a while. I had to sink in until I realized what was magical was I had found my authentic self. I let her be. I had no expectations of what was going to happen when I was there. I had no expectations of how I had to look, how I had to dress, if I was going to get wet, if I was going to be muddy. And I came out full of mud and drenched. But I had the greatest day of my life. And I was by myself. This is when you start to find your authentic self. When you take space for yourself. Cook yourself a special meal. Walk in the woods. Take salt baths and light the candles. Go for a ride to nowhere and just take a scenic drive. Get on a train to nowhere. Get off at any stop. Walk around and get back on the train again. Fuel your soul. Fuel your authenticity. Be spontaneous. Whatever is authentic to you feeds and fuels your joy. Not the stories, not the mental pressure that you place on yourself, but what truly ignites your joy and nourishes within is your authentic self. It is time to let go of feeling personally responsible for things you have no influence over. So let that go. Let it go with the stories. When you let that go, you make space for the energy. You allow yourself to see what is really yours. You will not see or feel your sovereignty if you keep letting yourself stay under the thumb of other people's expectations and societal beliefs. Step into the sovereignty of choice and creation and all that comes with choice, because you are now flooded with a new light. So I'm going to invite you at this time to close your eyes as we bring in these rays and we bring in these lights, feeding your authentic self, feeding your authenticity. Take in these lights so that you may begin to see more of the abundance of the new you emerging in this new energy. Let the new opportunities open to you, opportunities to create in an authentic way. Let your thoughts be shifted this evening so that you can feel vibrant, alive, to feel great in your body and in the experiences you were going to start creating. So I want you to take a few breaths. Clear and cleanse the consciousness for wholeness and healing. Breathe into the expansion. Let go of the imposter syndrome, creating someone else to hide your self-doubt, your lack of acceptance of self. Let go of the false belief that you're not capable, you're not worthy, you're not confident or strong enough to step into your authentic self. Let that go. Oh, let me so many. Let go of what others perceive you to be. Let go of the imposter that internalizes the belief around success. Against being accepted and loved, respected and validated. Let go of the need, want, have, must do, have to. Let go of them all. Know that the abilities within you are good enough and that you are worthy. Let the imposter that thinks whatever you do is not good enough, not professional enough, that you don't have enough. Let go of enough altogether. Let go of your feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Let go of the sadness, the loneliness, the anxiety. Breathe and feel into the emotions you are experiencing in your life right now. Breathe, release, and make room for experiencing new thoughts, new feelings. Breathe and release. Breathe and expand. Bring your awareness to these feelings, to these emotions. Bring your feelings so you may embrace them, expand from them, move through them. When you breathe through your feelings, you own and accept them, and you don't try to fight or change them. You will have incredible freedom. Let's breathe in that freedom. You are that freedom. You are your own choices. You are your beliefs. Let the energy flow through you and create new perceptions. And send the old beliefs back to source to be transmuted. Send it back to your soul. Expand and feel yourself becoming more aware of who you are. Breathe as you feel yourself floating into a cloud, beautiful white cloud. As you lay on this cloud, free, safe, loved and alive, let the rays flow through you as the rainbow lights circle around you, slowly going from your head and out your feet in different colors of the rainbow. Allow the frequencies to recalibrate. Transmuting, transcending, transforming. Allow them to increase your awareness of who you are. I am the I am. I am the I am. I am the I am. Open to receive. All it takes is to ask. Decide to change. Decide to create from a new space of love and acceptance. For the light of the divine is flowing through you right now. You are the divine light. You are so much more than anything you've ever known in this lifetime. Wake up to see who you are. There's a light before you. Allow yourself to float into that light. Allow yourself to meet your authentic self. Look through that light and you will see a pair of eyes. Look into those eyes. They're the eyes of your soul. Connect with these eyes. Allow these eyes to give you the ability to see with a new consciousness. Welcome the energy of limitlessness. Expand into limitlessness, to infinite possibilities, where you choose the perfection of your being in every moment. Letting go of the idea that you need to learn or to teach or to even heal. Let go of thinking you need to fix or change anyone or anything. Let go of all the old attachments you created. Feel the attachments coming off and going into the light. The attachment that you are responsible for other people's happiness. That you have to be a certain way for someone to love you. That you have to be, act, look a certain way for others to like you. You're creating someone that isn't even you. And then taking personal responsibility if others don't like what you created. Go of all have-tos. Even the idea that you have to be there for others. It's just another illusion, a way to create validation for yourself. Ooh, it's a big one, let it go. All in the mind. The beliefs circulating as thoughts, stuck on repeat. Charging your field day after day. Let it all be cleansed and lifted. Cleansed and lifted. Feel the circular tubes once again. Coming back for another round of cleansing. Let go, let go, let go. That doesn't mean that you won't be there for others. It means you'll be there from your heart because you want to be there and not because you want to be loved. You are love. You don't need love. And when you're giving to others, you're giving that love to others. If you're living not in your authentic self, then you're giving away a falsehood. You're giving away validation, manipulation, and control. So let's go into the space of unconditional love for self, so that when you give to others, it will truly be love. Not because you have to, not because you should, not because it's what you want in return, but simply because that's it. This is freedom. Opening to the full context of you. aligning to the eyes of an awakened being. Awakened being is their authentic self, making conscious choices based on their soul, not on somebody else's belief. Allow your self-love chamber to be filled. If you're scared or doubtful, talk to those fears, talk to the doubt. Don't try to deny it. Have a conversation with your fear. Have a conversation with your doubt. Tell that fear, tell me about it. Let me hold you and remind you how safe and loved you are. Treat yourself like a child. Love yourself with all the unconditional love you would give to a little one. Clear, clear, clear. Inhale and release. Breathe into your heart. And now breaking down the prison gates that locked you in with ideas, emotions, beliefs, and traumas. Visualize yourself in a cage and allow these circles of light to beam through them and disintegrate these gates. Open with forgiveness and gratitude to everyone and everything in your life. Whew. Oh, I feel that expansion. Whew. Give and give gratitude, not because it's right, not because you're supposed to, not because you have to, but because you are ready to free yourself. Forgiveness and gratitude, and expand into the freedom. Breathe into the expansion in your heart. Direct all your chakras in your body, above, below, every space and place, to open and spin, repaired and joyful, in the light and love and oneness within you and Source. Direct your hairline to be straight, strong, and connected to your ID point. Let that flow go through the multitude of bodies into pure source. Let it connect with source, straight and strong. Ooh. Allow yourself to be healed and whole. Healed and whole, healed and whole. And it is so, and it is so, and it is so. Healed and whole, healed and whole, healed and whole. Healed and whole, healed and whole, healed and whole. Breathe in the love. Breathe in the light of the divine. Breathe it through all your subtle bodies. Breathe into the limitless possibilities and infinite love. Breathe in this love. Breathe into your throat chakra. Breathe and connect. Feel into your space, your truth, connected, loving space. When old thoughts try to creep back in through the ego, just breathe back into this space. Breathe into your chakras, breathe into your hairline, and know you are loved. You are connected. Direct and breathe and bring it through your heart. Feel the love, feel the joy, feel the possibilities, and be free. From this heart space, breathe into the golden light. Fill your safe space, fill yourself with this beautiful golden energy. Feel the vibration. Feel the new frequency. Feel your true desires beginning to bubble up into your energy field. replacing the empty spaces, which are now ready for your authentic self. Oh, breathe into the energy, breathe into the vibration, breathe into the frequency, breathe into expressing your authentic, joyful self. Breathe this in. Bring it to your heart. Bring your hands to your chest and breathe it into your heart. Whew. Breathe. Breathe and state. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.